Welcome to Guns 101. This is our video welcome message for new gun owners. It's brought to you by the Self-Defense Radio Network. I'm Rob Morse from Self-Defense Gun Stories. My partners here are Charlie Cook from Riding Shotgun with Charlie, and the guy doing the heavy tech lifting there behind the curtain, that's Paul Lathrop from the Polite Society podcast. Today we're joined by Yehuda Remer. He's a child's author. He's written a number of children's books about having firearms in the home. He's got something else to bring to the table, too. He was introduced to firearms in California, moved to Texas. That's a large culture change around firearms. Today, there are 16 states where you can walk in, get a firearm, take it home, put it on your hip, and carry in public. Yehuda, what are the steps we'd like people to go through if they're going to conceal carry in public, even if it's not required by law?
So if a new gun owner has decided to that I want to also carry, obviously you go through the proper channels, whether you have constitutional carry, which means you don't have to have a permit to carry. If you're legally allowed to purchase a gun, you're legally allowed to carry a gun. Or if you live in a state where you have to get a permit to carry, if you have made the decision that you want to conceal carry, it is a very, very heavy decision. That's not something that's easily. Your mental hoops that you have to jump through are vast, because there are forget the steps of getting the actual permit or actually just carrying, but the mentality of I am carrying a firearm on me. Is it loaded? Is it not loaded? That's obviously a preference. All of that stems from proper gun safety. A proper holster is incredibly important. Do not buy a $20 nylon holster off Amazon. Not smart at all. A proper belt is incredibly important as well. It allows your firearm to keep in an upright position and not sag your pants down. There's also other aspects of learning to carry. Obviously, the safety aspect. All of the proper gun safety rules definitely apply, and even more so. Forget the 4 cardinal rules of gun safety. Consider you're in the mall carrying a firearm. Now you have to go to the bathroom. I mean, I know tons of guys have this problem, right? You go to the bathroom, you got to pull down your pants. What are you going to do with a firearm that's in a holster right there? There are so many things that you must think about and consider when you are going to start carrying a firearm.
Where will a new gun owner, you and I were lucky enough to be immersed in the gun culture. We could go shoot with friends. They taught us those things. They talked about them piece at a time. We learned them. Some of them we learned in classes. Some of them, like going to the men's room, we had to, hey, how do you manage this? There is no class on that. We just talk amongst ourselves. New gun owners in the age of quarantine, how are they going to learn that?
The new gun owners in the age of quarantine. First off, there are a million websites that have information, some better than others. Some people are bloviating, some people are actually legit. So it's kind of hard to maneuver around all that, and that's a whole other podcast we can get into. But how can people get into it? Your best course of action is, if you know someone who is a firearms owner already and has been for years, just approach them. 95% of the time, I'll say, people are going to be very forthcoming. Most gun owners understand, or I'm going to say most old school gun owners understand that what a person has to go through when you first purchase a gun. If you ask somebody who's a gun owner, hey, I just bought my first gun because of all the craziness, and they turn to you and they're like, well, it's about time, blah, 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 I told you, go find someone else to talk to. Most gun owners will walk you through and give you advice that you need to hear on not just gun safety, but carrying a firearm. Um, I have a lot of people in my community. They're like, "Hey, we got our license to carry. What do we do now?" And I'm like, "You have a good holster?" They're like, "Well, we found one. Like I said, we found one for $30 on Amazon." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. Go to, I mean, I have my own personal company that I love. I'm like, you can go here, you can go here. Go spend between $60 to $90 on a holster." And they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." I'm like, "Is your life and people's lives around you worth $60 to $90? Well, of course." I'm like, "So don't be cheap. Go buy a good holster. Like I said, buy a good belt. There's plenty of companies out there where you can get an everyday carry belt that does not make you look all tactical, and you're not, announcing to the world that, look at me, I'm a gun owner." I personally love Next Belt. Their belts are fantastic. They are trendy. They look good, and they don't scream, "I'm carrying a firearm on me." So, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do, but I really think that talking to other gun owners and you say, "Hey, look, I'm brand new. I'm kind of nervous about this. Can you give me some advice?" Most of the time, they will sit down with you or give you, again, quarantine, right? FaceTime with them. Give them a call on the phone. Go stand in your front yards 10 feet away and yell. It all works.
A
All
nice private meeting, because who
Sure.
else would be around you?
right, exactly. Do the Wilson thing from Home Improvement, right? You know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. Just right over the gate. Talk. Most gun owners are more than willing to step up to the plate and help new gun owners. I think Charlie said, as much as we poke fun at all these new people getting guns, or it could have been Rob, I don't remember. As much as we poke fun at a lot of them, that's just the gun culture. We all poke fun at each other. But at the end of the day, we're there to help you. We're there to walk you through anything you need. Um, I have about 8 people in my community who've been begging me to show them how to use their guns. I'm like, "Dude, I'm not coming to your house until after the quarantine is lifted." Um, but I plan on doing a big class as soon as it's over for all these new gun owners in my community. They're there. Gun owners are there to help. That's your best bet.
I've noticed that most gun owners, if I'm at a shooting range, most gun owners are willing to tell you everything that they know, be it good or bad. They're willing to tell you everything they know if you stop and ask them questions. And you say something like, "Hey, I saw one of those guns in a magazine. I thought about buying one. Where did you get it? How much did it cost? What did you pay for it? How do you like it? How does it feel? How does it, you know, ask all these questions?" And it usually turns into one of these things where they say, "Would you like to try it?" And the answer to that is always, "Oh my gosh, I would love to."
Yeah, most gun owners. I mean, again, we're talking about more the quarantine, but yes, Charlie, 100%. You go to a gun range, and I've noticed that people in our industry, gun owners, right? They don't like BS, right? So if you just walk up to them and say, "Hey, look, I'm a brand new gun owner. I've got some questions. Is there any way you can maybe answer them, or maybe point me in the right direction?" I was, I had someone on Instagram this morning message me that they're interested in the Sig 229, and I was like, "Dude, that's a great gun. Nothing wrong with that gun." And it's just a matter of, you know, you can be a jerk about it. You can act all high and mighty, but at the end of the day, strengthening the Second Amendment requires new Second Amendment advocates. And if you
it,
turn people away, if you act all high and mighty, people will be like, "Well, screw this. I don't want to be associated with these people." And yeah, they might be a gun owner, but they're not going to end up doing anything to help the Second Amendment. So just
Absolutely
be,
not. Sorry.
I was going to say, just be responsible. Don't be a jerk.
That is a great point. Well, we've been getting a lot of great points about concealed carry and about new gun owners from our guest today, Yehuda Remer. He's a child author. You can find all of his social media at the Pew Pew Jew. I'm Charlie Cook from Riding Shotgun with Charlie. I also have with me Rob Morse from Self Defense Gun Stories and Paul Lathrop from the Polite Society podcast. Please check out our shows and other shows on the Self Defense Radio Network at sdrn.us. It is all your pro-freedom podcasts in one place. And please watch and share all these videos that the Polite Society podcast is putting out on their YouTube channel. They're calling it Guns 101, and it's for all the new gun owners that we have here in the United States. Thank you very much.